to the Risky Business Podcast. I am your host. I am the Rock, Russell Rockport, and I'm here with the sultry, the lovely, the sexy Rowan Darkthorn. What's up, baby?
Good morning, Rock. Not much. What's going on with you today?
This has been a crazy little ride we've been on. And I'm sitting here this morning. Anybody who really knows me knows deep down inside what I really want to do, what my dream in life is to do, is to change the world for the better. We're going to jump right into this because we got a return email from Brad. And this email just really kind of made you and I do a virtual high five, a big hug with each other. We were excited because we think that we've changed Brad's life. I will go ahead and let you read it, Rowan.
Sure. Okay. So this is from Brad, and he titled it God Bless Rock and Rowan, which is so awesome. And it says, "You two may have saved my marriage. I did exactly what you told me to do. I will admit it did not start so well. I sat her on the couch and played her the podcast, then
Hang on. We did tell him specifically to not play the podcast to her to kind of keep her in the dark and make it seem like this is his own thing. We did say that.
Maybe we did, but we don't know their complete dynamic. Maybe that was
That's
something
true.
that he felt he needed to do.
Anyways, go
Then
ahead.
I told her that I wrote the letter. She was very upset that I never told her that I felt this way, especially the part when I said I was losing interest in our marriage. And when Rock suggested hiring an escort, she was nearly infuriated. I would have been infuriated too, I'm not gonna lie.
I thought it was much needed. Listen, I will add a tip to this, Brad. That was the thing that made this all work because she was worried you were going to hire an escort if she didn't take care of you. She was the competition, Brad.
She did not. The escort is not a competition.
She walked into the pantry and saw your saran wrap missing, and she was scared.
You're so full of it. Let me continue. However, it is all the buzz on the job site. The guys love it. As a matter of fact, one of the guys went to the store at lunch and bought saran wrap and wrapped his nail gun with it. We all died laughing. Oh my God. That is so hilarious.
Can you imagine that?
Oh my God.
Some guy on a work site walking around the site with saran wrap wrapped around his nail gun.
Whipping it out. You hear the theme from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly play.
And I bet you, I've been on construction site. I bet you every time he looked at somebody, he had a big cheesy smile like he was the smartest guy on the planet.
It's hilarious. By the way, Rock, we mostly use nailer now, not hammers. Anyway.
Now, granted, when I was actually working in the construction field, my foreman and supervisor was Fred Flintstone. So I will own that.
However, I will tell you that a nail gun would not have worked for the analogy that you used. You had to use that analogy that you used.
Thank you. I'm glad that somebody has my back. Not you, Brad.
I always have your back. Okay. So when the song started, her arms were folded and she was not happy. The song played all the way through. Every time I put my hand on her knee, she slapped it away, saying, "It's not going to work." When the song ended, I shut off the podcast and went to bed. I was angry. She shortly came in after and in the bed and crawled in and turned her back to me. I knew not to say a word and laid there for a while. After what seemed like an eternity, she asked if we could talk. We talked for some time. Then she said to me, "The guy's right. The song was sexy as fuck." And she asked Alexa to play it
By
in a
the
loop.
way,
Yes.
that offends me.
She doesn't know who the hell you are.
The guy is The Rock. Let's get that straight. It's not the guy. It's The Rock. The Rock was right, not some guy. Let's get that one straight first and foremost.
This song was sexy as fuck and asked Alexa to play it in a loop. I felt her hand touch my belly and start to slide down towards my pelvis.
Yeah, baby.
This is getting yummy. We had the most amazing sex ever. I mean, ever. It lasted all night. You go, Brad. Woo!
Brad buddy.
She woke up with me this morning after only a few hours of sleep. She asked me to email you thanking you while she made me breakfast. What'd you eat for breakfast, Brad?
Yeah, and the details, you give all the details about the boring stuff like her hand slide down your pelvis. But what we want to know, Brad, is what did you have for breakfast?
Oh, it might have been a little bit more of that sweet pie she was offering the night before.
I bet you there was a little honey in that breakfast as well.
Could have been. I'm watching her walk around my house this morning with the most beautiful smile I have ever seen her have. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Brad, I cannot begin. Rowan and I read this email this morning. We were both so excited for you, buddy. This is awesome for you. We're so glad that this happened to you. There's a few little clip notes in there, right? If you want to read some of those, or
She had not really realized how far it had gone, before they had, come back together.
I think the key part is that she's working a ton of hours.
Yeah, she is. She's working a lot of hours. I mean, it takes a toll. It really takes a toll. But you
It
know what?
does. I work a ton of hours, and I could tell you that I'm more sexually charged than my wife, and I work a tons of hours. I come home and I'm not interested at all, so I totally get that. I just want to go to bed. I want to go to sleep. Leave me alone.
Yeah. So, but the song was a great opener, but but she was still pissed off. She wasn't having any of it. But the fact that he sat down with her and tried to open a dialogue once she went to bed and she lay there for a while and was thinking, the fact that he was actually willing to listen to her and he was interested in what she had to say,
More
then
importantly, he kept his mouth shut and just let her work it out in her own mind.
yeah, yeah. And oh God, because guys, you guys can antagonize the fuck out of us. My point is that if he had not tried to open a dialogue, she would have just come to bed and gone to sleep. But he tried to open the dialogue, and though it took her a little while to warm up to the idea, she got it into her head like, hey, he really does care. He really does want to hear what I have to say. He's interested and he wants to work on it. And you see the results. The guy can barely walk this morning and he's getting his breakfast made.
He's getting his breakfast made. And by the way that the tone that I got out of it, he probably doesn't get his breakfast made very often because he really highlighted the fact that he's getting a breakfast made for him. I got out of the fact that she is excited that they had a great night of sex. See,
Oh yeah.
she wants it too.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah. They are way too young to go out to pasture. They need to be just going after it like bunnies anytime they can.
She is not coming to bed with a flannel 90 sewed up at the crotch. That's not the case. But she just got things going on. And Rowan, I'm gonna give you props on this. Your advice, just talk, get things out in the open, let things know. It does seem to me like in the email where they had discussions prior, but she didn't really listen to him. He wasn't really listening to her. And once they were able to talk it over and able to get the issues out in the open, it's just so important in any marriage.
Absolutely.
Things changing for them.
But here is where the work is going to have to continue though, because you have to keep this line of dialogue open. You can't just have this one great night of sex, or even this week, y'all could be floating on a cloud this week or whatever, but then next week it'll be back to the way it was. You'll have to continue keeping this dialogue open and keep making sure that you listen to what she says and understand her point of view, just as you expect her to do for you. And your sex life will continue to improve. You will become so much closer to your wife, emotionally, mentally, physically. And I mean, that makes all the difference in the world. all the difference.
And what would you say is the easiest way to continue to feel that and embrace that and be a part? Because we tend to forget
Yeah.
as humans. What do you think would be the easiest way to continue to remind that?
Personally, I would make a point of asking how her day was, asking questions, and actually listening to the answers. And here's let me say that this is a something that guys kind of struggle with. They tend to mansplain things, and they also tend to um, try and fix everything. If we have a problem, most of the time as females, we don't want you fixing our problem. We just want you to listen. We want to vent, and if I come to you with like yesterday when I called you, Rock, and I was talking to you about my actual job. I was venting. You didn't offer to try and fix anything. You just listened to me vent, and then I was better and we went on. If I appreciated that, and all women appreciate just being listened to and not have somebody think, "Oh, well, I can take care of that for you, little lady." We'll work out our own stuff, but we just need a partner that we can depend on, that we can know that they're going to listen to us.
And a huge tip on that, guys, I will give you a huge tip on how I was able to do that. I just set the phone down and fell asleep. And then when she was done talking, I woke up.
No, you were driving. I could hear the road. I could hear your windshield wipers.
Yeah, I was driving and I was listening, guys. That's just Rowan and I being fun. But no, seriously, you talked about that and you said that, to remember to do this, but sometimes it's just hard to remember that stuff. So what's the easiest way to keep that in the forefront of your mind?
I don't know, Rock. What do you think?
Listen to the Risky Business podcast every day. Go back and replay it. Make sure you're listening to the commercials because Rowan and I want to be paid.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah. But it's not the whole reason we do this.
No,
It's
no.
really not.
We do this basically to make a long story short. One of the main reasons I do it is exactly this email. This here made my day. It made Rowan's day. We helped Brad in his relationship. More importantly, we helped Brad get laid, which is a big bonus for me. Brad got laid by a gorgeous woman. We've never seen her, but I'm going to take your word for it, Brad. And it just really, man, it did something to me emotionally this morning that I can't even explain. I am so excited because that is my dream, is to change the world in a better place. And I believe this has happened with Brad and his wife. And hopefully we get his wife to maybe send us in an email or two responding to this and how she feels about it. That'd be kind of fun. But I am curious if you want to talk about the other letter we got.
Oh, yes. This is from someone named Double D's. We're not going to speculate.
We can speculate because she did send us a picture of her double D's, didn't she?
No, she did not.
So you actually sent us a email calling yourself double D's, yet you have no proof that you have double D's.
Who her? Yes. No,
I am absolutely requesting that you go to our website and go to the shop part of the website, buy a Risky Business shot glass and put it between those double D's and send it to us.
Oh my goodness. Well, we have to put the shop thing on there first. But yeah, that would be awesome. I'd look at that.
Anyways, so here's this woman's claiming to be double D's, but we have no proof of that. So maybe she's talking about something else. I don't know. Anyways, what does she say, Rowan? Because I was entertained by this.
Double D's could be double dildos, double penetration. Hey, I'm going down a rabbit hole. Let me just start over. All right, she says, first time listener here. I stumbled upon your podcast looking for something new. Have to say, I have never heard anything quite like this before. I loved it. It's nice to hear other women's opinions and get men's feedback. Also, all I get from my hubby is, oh, that's nice, or I'm good for a while. So she's like, what the fuck? Either I wasn't fulfilling him, or I was doing something wrong in the oral department. She's discussing her oral sex issues with us. So after hearing your show, I played it back for him. And she says, let's just say he'll remember that night for a while. Great tips and pointers. Can't wait for the next show. Your new fan, Double D's.
I love Double D's. I think it's awesome that she's learning something from the show. I think it's awesome that she's doing that. Here's my question.
Hmm.
What tips did she use that we gave, for one? Share some of that information with the email. I mean, we want to know exactly what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. Like Brad was very detailed about what happened, and we love that for Brad. We love what you're doing, Double D's, as well. But I do have a challenge with the email. Would you like to know what it is, Rowan?
I would like to know what it is.
We have been offering anybody a koozie or a shot glass if they send us an email and we read it on the air. But you actually had to send her email back asking her for her address if she wanted a koozie or a shot glass. And her response was her address. She still didn't say if she wanted a koozie or a shot glass. We don't know.
We'll just spin the wheel. We'll spin the wheel and see what happens.
I'm telling you, we have a bunch of different things here in the office. And what I'm going to do from here on out, if you don't specify koozie or shot glass, we're going to send you a business card. And please make sure that you send your snail mail address so that we can send it to you, and assume that the email is going to be read on the air, because we're going to get too busy to the point to where we cannot keep responding back to people saying, please send us your stuff. So if you don't send it, we can't send you that koozie shot glass. You got to send your snail mail address in. You've got to send in your request of which one that you want so that we can just boom, 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 and get it out. Would you agree with that, Rowan?
Yes, yes. Right now I can answer all the emails, but it's starting to pick up.
My favorite part was a first-time listener. Well, we're pretty much first-time podcasters as far as Risky Business goes. So you got in at the ground floor, Double D.
That's right. That's right. We can only go up from here.
That's right. And if our listeners want to send us an email that we may or may not read on the air, they can send that email to
Rock at riskybusinesspodcast.com or Rowan at riskybusinesspodcast.com, or you can just go to our website and hit the contact link, and there's a form right there that'll email your stuff right to us.
And we will also let people know that if you reach out on that email, we have links to different platforms that allow you to listen to a more in-depth podcast than what you might hear us on YouTube. Not that we have any problem with YouTube, but they do have certain regulations and rules that we cannot do certain things on YouTube and agreements to. So we do have other platforms that you can get a more aggressive podcast from. Let's just put it that way.
I'm not sure if the list of sexy songs is up yet. I actually was going to only do 10, but it turned into 20. So it'll be a really nice playlist for somebody.
I actually tried to do 10, but I only came up with one.
I know. Yours is on there.
Mine
I came
is
up
on
with
there.
the other 19. Yeah, I came
Did
up with
ya?
the other 19. Yeah.
I bet you one of my favorite In the Mood songs is not on there. I bet you two of them of my favorite In the Mood songs is not on there.
Well, then why didn't you come up with them? What is it?
Because you and I work so much these days, we don't have enough time to talk.
That's true. Unless I'm venting or you're
But
venting.
if you want to hear one of my all-time favorite, not my favorite, Blinded's my favorite, but one of my all-time favorite songs, just stay tuned and listen to the very end of this podcast, and it's our closing song. Love that song. It's great for getting in the mood.
That is a good song.
Anyways, I am Russell Rockport, The Rock. She is
Rowan Darkthorn. And this is Risky Business. See you between the sheets.
Stay naughty.
Don't be left out. Hit that subscribe, that follow, that like, ring the bell, whatever it takes to join us in the dark.
And you can come sit by me. I have all the cookies.